funny little intro. Hey. Oh, didn't see you guys there. Oh, God, you gotta love that stuff. Anyway, all right, so I'm your host, Chad Everett Broshears, or Sir Chad Everett Broshears to some. This is the Maturity Project. And so, what I'm going to talk about today is defining the fight. So, what I really enjoy is that if you can frame so much about life into specific examples or analogies, and it helps kind of like bring a different perspective to something, which will hopefully intentionally then it does work this way. It's just a matter of where does it come from and how does it affect you. But you have people that will share certain things that open up a new insight for you, so you have access to something that has been there in front of you this entire time, but your vantage point hasn't given you the opportunity to see it. And that's in most instances. It's always been there, or the pathway to what you're looking for is right there. It's just not something that you have the ability to see at the moment. It's a lot like telling or sitting and trying to convince a fish that it's in water. You pretty much are just wasting your time until the fish is out of water, and then it can realize what water actually is, because it's submersed in its reality that it exists upon. So with this, you define your fight, man. Let's talk about the opportunities and goal setting and achievements by defining something to give you leverage points, something to be able to, manage your current state so that you can get closer to your goal. So if you were to consider it be more like a fight, because you do have to fight with things. You have to fight with your old self, the habits, the psychology that you have about certain things, all of that stuff. It's there back into get there, but it's sorry, the Wi-Fi was picking up and throwing it off over here at one of the local stores that I go to. Anyway, so if your idea of the fight is that you win, you're the champion, you carry the belt every single time, it's a good idea to reframe that mindset to the point that you can say, okay, if you think of Rocky and the movies Rocky, he got his butt kicked in the first one, but he did a really great job. How he won wasn't that he won the fight. He got in the ring. He got in there, he tried, he gave the champion a real good run for his money, Apollo Creed. And he did end up losing to him, but the win was that he got into the fight and that he did as well as he did. That was a big win. Second movie, he wins, but, the second movie also, they had his friends and all that fun stuff. But, they get to that point of respect. But, Sylvester Stallone's character, Rocky, he's getting better every time. Same thing for us, but you have to define it, right? Like, I've done martial arts, and I'll tell you right now, the very first time I grew up, fighting with my brothers, physically fighting, fists and all of that, and, not just words that cut, but also physical abilities to cut, we fought. Now, we didn't fight to the level of like anything lethal necessarily, but we did what boys do, rough and tumble play. We fought with each other. We worked on our hierarchy. We learned specific lessons through the roughhousing and fighting with other neighborhood kids. And then I got into an organized system of fighting or self-defense, which is martial arts. And going into it, physically tough, but not tactful to the level of somebody who's more professional. And I got my butt kicked, and I got my butt kicked on a daily basis. I actually paid to get my butt kicked regularly. That's the dues that I would pay for my membership. So if you look at it saying, hey, I got in the fight and I learned a new lesson today, you get better because you're learning lessons. Every time that I got thrown, and my primary art is Aikido. My secondary art is it's more mixed martial arts, but with a strong emphasis of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I just found that I needed more capacity, more of ability. So I kept signing up to get my butt kicked. So that's my wins were actually losing the fights, but gaining experience in the process. So it was sparring. It wasn't like the person had, malicious intent to beat me down and hurt me, but the goal was to be better than your opponent. And I was, the lesser of those wins many times because it just had to get better. And then as I got older and more developed in it, I became more and more capable of, self-defense. But it also taught me, to hold back. It taught me, it taught me a lot that I'm incredibly grateful for, that transitioned the skills into something so much more. Like, I'm capable of so much more because I put myself through what's necessary to get better. So I define the fight as, I know I'm going to lose. I know it. Absolutely. But what I win by losing is I gain opportunity, I gain insights, I gain growth. So that's what I would like to be able to offer in this. Define your fight. If it's I want to be happier, well, you really do need to define what happy is, first off. Secondly, you have to understand exactly what is the trigger points, or what are the experiences in the environment or internally that qualify for something that makes you happy, so that you can understand what happier is built upon. Then you can start working on those experiences to move you along to the next stage. The next stage, which is the depth of understanding what happier is, and what you have as a responsibility to create in order to have happier more often. So if you want to have better financial success, you've probably gotten pretty beat up financially before in order to get you to the point of going, I want to have financial success. Oh, my bad. Wrong street. Okay. No, pick it. Define it. That's what you have to learn to do. So if you want to find love, what is love? Seriously, you have to understand the definition. If you don't understand the definition and you walk around with everybody should know what love is, there's a lot of the common sense concepts that fall into that, which is you should know what to do in this relationship. If you haven't directly trained your partner in what love is for you and what love actually is by definition, and then what the expressions are that help validate that, then you're playing a lottery game that often it comes with unnecessary hardship, as communication is so important. So, define it. Oh, business success. I am very driven for business success. I am highly, highly driven to develop myself to be the absolute best and go through all of the suck in order to be this great at what I do. And humble enough to say, you're not as good as you can be. You've got to keep trying harder. Looking at other business models and their success and how they work and things like that, just constantly studying instead of sitting back and getting caught up in all the other stuff that most people get caught up in. I don't do that. I am learning from everything that I get involved in because that is a preferential pastime for me. I love to learn. It's an entertainment type of experience. It's a lot of pleasure for me to learn. So whenever I'm out to learn something, it's fantastic. I get to grow. I get to get closer to not only the goals that I have in the stated position of specific destinations or acquiring something or experiences of specific somethings, it also gives me a depth of awareness of something that I didn't know before, and it can change the vantage point on all the things that I've done up to that point and help me enrich what my accomplishments have been, and to what kind of accomplishments could be next. So, like, if you've never heard of skydiving and then you see somebody do it or they talk to you about it, it can come across in a lot of different ways, but you can be enrolled into jumping out of a plane. I have done it once. I don't plan to do it again. I've had the experience. It's not really that I'm afraid to jump out of a plane with a parachute as much. I mean, obviously that's there. I mean, I'm not insane or sociopath. But I don't see the benefit outweighing the risk at this point. I've had the experience. But prior to actually even being aware of it being a thing, it became a new avenue of opportunity for me because I opened up to the point somebody explained to me what it was. At some point in time in my life, I did not know what that was. And then it was introduced to me. And I was not interested when I was first introduced to it. I was pretty young. But as I became an adult, I decided to start taking on my fears. I come from having social anxiety. And a significant degree of social anxiety to the point of panic attacks, like legitimate, like if I had given in to the panic attack, an ambulance would have been called at one particular event. And then it happened a couple of times in school, in my middle school, and in high school. And my parents were not the type that were going to send me to therapy. It was going to be, and my father was more, my father in the decision making of this is the one that you tough it out. You push yourself through it. You deal with this. That was how my father was about it, and I am incredibly grateful that he is that way, or was that way, and that was my experience, because I learned such incredible skills by being connected to that and saying, okay, I can overcome this. So I did overcome social anxiety, and I did it by exposure, what they refer to as exposure therapy and psychology when you're treating it. But that's not what I knew. I just knew that I did not want to be held captive to that anxiety the rest of my life. So I started looking for places that anxiety would show up, and I'd force myself to face it. I would push myself into the reality of this is happening to me. And is it as bad as I thought it was? What else can I learn about this? And what am I learning about this? So it was fascinating that I actually had the intuition to do such a thing. And I am incredibly grateful for it. And those skills that I learned from that are transitional into other areas, because it's confront. It is deal with it. It is learn from wherever that place is. And it has helped me significantly in every aspect of my life. So this is what I hope to share with you, to the point that you can understand that once you define the fight, you can put tools on it. You can start looking at how to create a foundation on it. You can say, hey, I understand. I am so ill-equipped for taking on this fight, but I'm going to learn what I need to prepare better for it next time. I'm going to get in there, and I am going to eat and breathe and just destroy the opportunities that are coming up in the way of actually accomplishing them, taking them on, not destroy them as in dismissing or annihilating. Not like that. And turn a phrase, and could have picked a better term. But I am going to take this on and overcome it, and do it with aggression, so aggressive that there is no doubt that I will get better at this. And then you get to the point you start winning. And the win might be the Rocky situation where you're close. You gave your contender a really good run for their money. Then you've gotten better. Until you are the one that other people are trying to, get to your level of abilities. So the simplicity of it, just take it on, try it, define it so that it can be communicated. If you cannot define it, it is incredibly challenging and almost impossible to communicate it. So define it. Whatever it is that you want to accomplish, define that thing so that you can create that outcome that you're looking for. So, all right, that's it for today. This is The Maturity Project. I am your host, Chad Ever Broshears, or Sir Chad Ever Broshears to some. And I do hope that you found some value in this. Comment in the comment section. Let me know what you got and what you like to get next, or what you'd like for me to talk about. And let's also just remember that we've got a world to save, really. We got a world to take care of and to do and make something out of it. But we really do need to work on ourselves first. So until next time, do like, subscribe, and share this video. You can use this as an icebreaker conversation by sharing the video to open up that opportunity with somebody else. So, and I encourage that. Please, even if you have to make fun of me in the process so that it helps ease the conversation, I don't care. Just break the ice with it. Okay. All right. Until next time, again, this is Sir Chad Everett Broshears, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.